Good day, viewers at home, and welcome to another exciting edition of One on One. I'm your host, Tobilope Dada. What are we looking at on the program today? It's a really deep one. Looking around us in the country, we know that there is incessant rise in unemployment. You see people walking on the street, even you see BSc holders, ND holders, HND holders with nothing to show for their certificates. And we are beginning to wonder, is there really a job in the country? What is the way forward for youths in the country? There is no job. There is nothing. So on the program today, we are going to look at being self-employed, becoming your own boss. How do you go about this? A lot of challenges arise to face young entrepreneurs. How do I get fund? Even if I get fund, how do I identify my target audience? Who do I sell my wares to? To tell us more about this, I have a guest in the house. His name is Mr. Olanrewaju Faleye. He's the CEO Olanre Forward Foods. He has won a lot of grants, which is why we are bringing him here so that he can explain to us how we can go about things like this. I will leave it to him to tell us more about himself because I don't want to blow the horn too much. So, Mr. Olanrewaju, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? You know, I've heard of Olanre Forward. I want to know where the Olanre Forward comes from. I want to know who Mr. Olanrewaju is. Can you tell us?
Thank you. Good day, listeners and viewers at home. My full name is Faleye Olanrewaju Samuel, but most people call me Olanre Forward.
Okay.
The journey started some years ago. Precisely, I registered my business in 2012.
So Olanre Forward is just like a business name?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's the business name. Then over time, I now began to carve the name out. So whenever I go out, people call me Olanre Forward. That's
how the name got stuck.
Yes.
Now I want to know the in-depth of Mr. Olanrewaju. I want to know who really is Mr. Olanrewaju. Okay, we know you're an entrepreneur. How did your journey into being an entrepreneur start? You know, your profile said you had masters in one field, you studied business administration, business management, and so on and so forth. So how did your journey start? I want to believe there's always been these 9 to 5 jobs and everything, but of course you are doing business. So how did it start?
Thank you. The journey started when I finished my National Youth Service Corps.
Okay.
That was in 2010. Although before I got admission for my Bachelor of Science degree program, after my secondary school, I delved into some mini business to raise more capital for my study and to support my parents. To be precise, I started a phone call business in 2013.
So you've been doing business since 2013. That's a laudable one.
Thank you. Then when I went for my BSc, I finished my NYSC in 2010.
Okay.
Despite being a state and national award winner, because during my NYSC year, I was one of the best core member during my set. So I received the State Honors Award.
Your name really speaks for you, Olanre Forward.
Thank you. So, and I won a national award as the best core volunteer. So I was honored and celebrated at Kaduna by the federal government office of the Millennium Development Goals. Then when I returned back to Ibadan, I could not, as the regular norms, that you start submitting application and the rest like that. So after submitting some applications, I could not secure any jobs. Then I was about getting frustrated that does that mean despite my second class upper division from the university and my ability, which I know at least I can perform, nobody is there to even employ me? Am I that bad or whatever? Several things start running through my mind. Then fortunately, my church organized a skill acquisition program for the youth. Then I religiously participated. That was in 2011. Then during the training, I focused on bag and shoe making. Then after the training, I went back to the trainer to learn to have more in-depth knowledge about the bag making.
And shoe making.
Although the woman was not into shoe then, but I shall learn the bag making. Then after I learned, I proposed within me that I will try and push this thing forward. Then I started bag making business. Unfortunately enough for me, in 2014, I won the Nigerian Centenary Anniversary bag contract. So I produced for the federal government for the celebration of Nigerian Centenary Anniversary. And from there, it has been from one thing to the other, and we have been climbing up the ladder.
For Nigeria Centenary Anniversary, did you pay your tithes? Because I'm willing to collect the tithes, although it's long gone, but I want to collect the tithe.
Oh, wow, definitely yes.
So I'm going to collect the tithe. Okay, please, my producer, please take note of that. We are collecting tithes from Mr. Olanrewaju before he leaves this place.
There are many, aside paying the physical tithes, there are other many ways you can use to impact the life of others. There are many ways you can allow many others to ride on your own shoulders so that they can see afar off, which is one of the reasons why I'm here. This is part of the contribution
we are making. All right, very good. Now let's take a look at the situation of the country. There is an incessant rise in unemployment. A lot of people are really thinking of being an entrepreneur, just like yourself. And I really don't know how I'm going to go about it. That's the question running through some people's mind. I can wake up in the morning and say, I want to go into shoe making, I want to go into bag making, I want to go into bead making, and I don't know the steps to take. Aside from the fact that I have had to go through some schools or thereabouts to learn this trade. How do I start?
Thank you. About the starting, good enough these days, NYSC, which is National Youth Service Corps, they've partnered with many skills business people that are that can mentor and train the upcoming youths in whatever field or whatever skill they might be interested in. And one of the partners too, and we have many different partners across the federation. So if you are a youth and you are about to participate in NYSC, or you are presently participating in National Youth Service Corps, you can engage yourself with one of these trainers. And if you are not in that category, definitely what you just need to do is identify your passion first. Where do you have a passion? Now, when you've identified a passion, is there a problem that you can use that your passion to solve? Because the truth of the matter is, without you providing a solution to a problem, you might not be earning good money as you are expecting. So identify your passion, and wherever your passion lies, look for an existing problem. There are problems all around us that are looking for solutions. So once you can provide solution to it, for instance now, if you realize that the people in your neighborhood, when they buy a slippers, after 2 or 3 wears it started peeling, that is a problem. Nobody desires to buy something new and after it will start peeling. So if you can get a source of good material and you can match them together and you can come up with a slippers, my brother or sister, you will sell. If you notice that in your area people don't have access to a good pungent and stone-free chili pepper powder, you can start packaging one, just as I am too.
If you package chili pepper?
Yes, I do. That's the business I do presently. I package chili pepper powder and it is NAFDAC certified. So just identify a problem and find a solution to that problem.
Now, we know there are a lot of problems. Finding a solution is actually very easy. But going about the solution, that is where I think most people have problems. Now, you talk about chili pepper. You are doing chili pepper. I am doing chili pepper. Virtually everybody is doing chili pepper. Who is going to buy from who?
Thank you. Definitely all of us cannot be a chili pepper producer. What
I'm
we
just using that as an instance
an
now, because
instant.
we have a whole lot of businesses. We have a whole lot of hairdressers. We have a whole lot of barbers. We have a whole lot of fashion designers. So if I mean, of course, there is unemployment, but if we all start going into this being a self-employed person, who is going to patronize you? Because that is one of the problems that I believe most unemployed people are actually having, because they believe that if I start doing this, someone is already doing that business. Who is going to patronize me? That is a challenge. I mean, it's a very big challenge for unemployed youths.
Thank
How
you.
do we go
Is
about
is
that?
because of the way you view it. That is why the first thing I said is identify a problem. If somebody have started doing something already and you've not identified anything in addition to what is in existence, your whole solution is not unique, then people are not going to buy from you. So
Okay,
even
so
when you are identifying a problem, your solution must be unique from the existing solution, then you get patronage.
that means you have to carve a niche for yourself.
Something like that.
All right, thank you. I really get that. Now, on to another thing. Carving a niche for oneself is not really enough. Now, let's talk about funds. Virtually every startup business has a problem of funds. They have a problem of markets. As an entrepreneur, you've been in the business, you've been doing it for quite a number of years. How do you think startups can go around that problem of funds and identifying their market? Aside from the fact that I have identified the problem that people have, I've carved a niche for myself. I know that if I do it in a certain way, my market is going to sell. But how do I locate my audience?
Thank you. You've asked me two questions now.
Yes.
How to identify your market and how to get fund.
Exactly.
Now, if I'm to start with the second one, which is funding, these days, God has been helping us. Most people that are well to do nowadays are putting down their money to help with the upcoming youths. There are different foundations nowadays that are giving grants to young entrepreneurs as long as your solution is unique.
Okay.
For instance, there was a younger brother of mine, one of my mentees to be precise. He won a grant of 5,000 US dollars for coming up with a mobile car wash idea. I don't know.
Car wash
Somebody
idea.
might be hearing that for the first time. That
I'm
is
actually hearing it for the first time.
washing your car while you are on the motion. It sounds funny, but it's a lucrative business and the guy is making money in Lagos as I speak. So when the people that are to review his proposal saw the idea, they said, wow, you mean two of you can finish washing a car while the car is waiting for the traffic light to pass it? Do you get? That is a mobile car idea initiative. Then they fund him with 5,000 US dollars. The same thing applies to me. When I came up with the idea of packaging chili pepper powder and I come up with a solution that will meet all these problems, definitely people will buy. And I started from my hostel room at University of Ile-Ife, Obafemi Awolowo University.
Okay.
Then I gave it to my bunkmate first. When he used it, he said, wow, this is pungent, this is doesn't have stone. I said, you mean it? Okay, let me try, let me take a step further. I took it to my hostel buttery. The woman bought it, and what I noticed was after a purchase, there's always a repurchase and there's a referral. That was how I started. And as I speak to you, my product is being sold in more than 200 stores across Nigeria and beyond.
That is identifying your market. You've answered my questions in one. Anyway, identifying your market and getting funds. We'll take a break, but when we come back, we're going to continue with Mr. Olanrewaju. Welcome back. My guest is still Mr. Olanre Forward Foods. Yes, he's into chili pepper and he has won a lot of grants. So right now, I would want him to tell us more about getting those grants. Because as a matter of fact, I might also be interested. I want to have that mobile car wash you're talking about. Maybe I can bring it to Ibadan and I'll start making money just like your mentee, Abby. And yes, you're going to tell us a little bit about this mentor-mentee of the thing. Now let's talk about these grants first. How do young entrepreneurs get to access these grants?
Thank you.
Is it public knowledge? Do people really know about it?
Thank you. For one to access all these grants, first and foremost, you need to be aware of the grants and their criteria.
Okay, so there are criteria to getting the grants.
Exactly. People don't just dash out money since they are not. They want to help us, but at the same time, they are not Father Christmas.
Okay.
Now, but to start with, if you are coming into business and you want to be an entrepreneur, make sure you have a proper document. What do I mean? If you recollect, I told you I registered my business as far back as 2012.
Yes, you said.
But I got my first grant in 2016. In fact, I received the money in 2017. That's the truth.
Okay.
You cannot imagine. And when I register my business with Corporate Affairs Commission, immediately I open a corporate account.
Okay.
Which means I already have a record. If whether it's 1 naira or 2 naira,
something is going into your corporate account.
Something is going into my corporate account, and I'm keeping a proper record, which means that business is an entity on its own.
Okay.
And myself is an entity on its own. So don't just think that you can just cook up anything and out of, for instance, the first grants that I won, it was across the southwest Nigeria, and only 26 or 24 thereabout were picked youths across southwest. So which means for me to be one of the 24 or 26 youths that were picked and were given a grant, I must be outstanding, except if we want to deceive ourselves, because they must use some criteria to drop some people and for the winner to emerge. So when you are coming to be an entrepreneur, have a proper document. Secondly, you will need to raise up your game a bit on how to come up with a good proposal and business plan. There are different things that can be of help. You can log on to the internet, download the format, or you can come under a tutelage, or you can go for a training. Just make sure you have a good knowledge of how to compile a good business plan.
I was about to say that, because for a layman that is viewing this, they may not know what a business plan is. So are you trying to say if I want to open an hairdressing salon and I want to access grants from some bodies, I need to have a business plan for that salon?
As far as I know for now, nobody, or let me say I have not seen anybody that will give you grants. You know, grant is something that you are not returning back to the person.
Of course.
If it's a loan, they know that if you are not returning my money, something is at stake. It's either your family land or your daddy's property. Do you get? But for someone to give you grants, I've not seen anybody giving somebody's grants without requesting that person to submit a business plan or a business proposal. So which means whether you want to set up a hairdresser business or a shoemaking, fashion designing, car wash, whatever you might think of, food processing, cottage industry, you must be able to come up with a business plan on that particular business you want to go into.
Okay.
Because it's this particular business plan that will help the person that wants to give you the fund to know step by step on how you will use the money, and how you will use the money to create employment and make more profits.
Now I get it. So for young entrepreneurs, they need virtually a lot of things. They need to have proper record, and they need to have a good business plan or proposal. Now, how do they get to meet these people that gives the grants in quotes? You know, you mentioned Tony Elumelu the other time. Now, for someone that is viewing this and they like, I've heard of Tony Elumelu business grants. How do I access it? Do I just walk into their office or something, or do they
Okay.
even have a physical outlet?
Okay, thank you. For the Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship Foundation, because I'm one of the alumni and I think I have one or two knowledge about it, and I'm also one of the winners. The form comes out January every year,
Okay.
and I think it runs for 2 months. I think it's closed February 22nd or thereabout. But
Okay.
I know the form comes out January of every month.
Okay.
Then they have a website. Even if you don't know their website, just enter into Google or any search engine, type in Tony Elumelu Foundation. It will take you, it will bring out their website. When you get to their website, log into it and fill the form. But there is a point I must let all of us, especially our listeners and the viewers, to understand. Last year when I won, 93,000 people applied
Really?
and only 1,000 were picked.
So there are about 92,000 that were left out.
And this year, more than 150,000 applied, and hopefully by next year it's expected to double again. What am I driving home at? Which means for you to be out of the 1,000 that is going to be selected, you must be 100% outstanding. Outstanding in the sense that, do you have a proper record for your business? Is your business solving any unique problem? Will your business curate employment for other youths? And is your business sustainable? For instance, I know my boss, my financial, the Tony Elumelu Foundation, they are happy seeing me that I'm successful, and they know that it means they have not made a mistake for selecting me, which means my business is viable because I'm making profits. And the other business grant that I've received also, Kickstart Foundation by International Breweries PSC, they also gave me some grants. So these two people, they will weigh your application very well and only pick the best to meet up with the required number.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, before we round up, you said something about mentor mentee. Now, as a person, for those of people, I mean, for the people viewing us at home now, they might have been like, I like the way this man is talking. It can be a very good mentor. It can be something. How do you think one should pick their mentors?
Thank you.
Because as an entrepreneur, you really need someone that you will look up to.
For you to pick your mentor, it's not compulsory your mentor should be in the same field with you. If you are fortunate to see someone in your field to mentor you, fine. But if you could not see, all entrepreneurs will have similar characteristics.
All right.
Which means we can, as I'm here in your studio now, for the few minutes I've seen, I've identified some problems and I have some suggested solution. Which means I can make money from your studio by providing solution to your problem. When I was returning from a program on Saturday some days back, where I was invited as a guest speaker, I was in my car with my boys that went to the program together. And as we were going, we were gisting, and immediately a problem caught my attention on the road. And I know I have a solution. Immediately I told them, let's park. Let's see if you can make some legal money from this thing. And I parked and I walk into that office and I make my proposal to them. And I've started developing that already because they have a problem and I have a suggested solution. So what I'm saying is that because all the entrepreneurs have similar characteristics. For instance, I have a free entrepreneurship club that I have started with secondary school students already, and I have some group of people that I run the club with as well. That, okay, you are aspiring to be an entrepreneur. Let's come together once in a month. Let's have a meeting. Let's see if you can learn new things from my experience. What are the challenges you are having? As an entrepreneur, do I have a suggested solution? Go and try this. After a month again, come back. But the mistake many people makes is that they want to suck their mentor financially, and no mentor will want to give you money. That's the truth.
They only want to put you through.
They only want to put you through. And as I used to say, in the real sense of it, to start a business or to find solution to a problem, you don't actually need money. It's when you want to grow the business that you need money.
Okay.
So when you want to find a solution to a problem, you don't need money. For instance, when I started the entrepreneurship club, I started it free. But now I have one or two secondary schools, private secondary schools, that are paying me to set up the club in their school. Did I use money to start?
I get it now. So you identified the need in the pupils to be a budding entrepreneur. You started it. Now some schools want you to
come and initiate the projects in their school.
That is like making legal money, just like you said
exactly
earlier. Thank you very much. And we'll take another break. By the time we come back, my guests would have gone, but I'm sure you've learned one or two things. We'll be right back. I'm sure you've been able to pick one or two things from my guests. And for those of us that are really thinking about starting a business, you've heard my guest say, before you start a business, make sure that your business actually identifies with some set of people's needs. That is the way you are going to get your target audience. After you might have gotten these people and you are actually thinking of getting grants or what have we, how do you get funds? He has said you must have proper documentation. Before you can access any grant, you have to have proper documentation. So make sure you have proper documentation of the things you've been doing. And yes, your business has to be registered. That is the bottom line. It has to be registered. I really don't want to say much because I know that you've gotten one or two things. And if not, well, the ball is really in your court because you just have to be self-employed. I am Tolulope Dada. Bye for now.